guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited. I just filmed a pregnancy update that was a little more serious, and I talked about some struggles that I've been having recently and a big change in birth plan and everything like that. So if you have not seen that, check it out in the description box when you're done watching this if you want to catch up on how I'm doing with my pregnancy. But today, you guys, this is my favorite story to tell because God has answered a prayer of my husband and I's in such a beautiful way, in such an unexpected way. It's one of those things that you can't put together in your mind. There are just so many little details that God knew and that God worked out. But without further ado, let me share with you the story. If you remember a while back, this was literally months ago. It was an old life update video and I talked about how we wanted to move, but it was in God's hands. So that has still been the case for us. As you guys know, I'm just about 8 months pregnant, and most people don't plan on moving around that time. We actually moved though literally 2 years ago, about to the day from now, when I was 8 months pregnant with Elia. So we have done this before. Moving is not something that stresses me out. Our house being a mess, which it is right now, does stress me out, but the whole moving process I actually really enjoy, and I don't know, I'm just a weird one. So in order for you to enjoy the things that God has done, I'm going to share with you our current circumstances so that you can see how God has answered our prayer. We are in a nice apartment right now. We have really enjoyed living here. My husband and I both really value, I'd say, location over what we actually have in our home, and just being accessible to things, being able to walk places, things like that. So we are currently in a 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartment. Overall, it has been a wonderful place to live. We are very close to the beach. We're very close to a lot of wonderful things, but we're actually in a town where most of our friends do not live. So that is one thing that we wanted to be closer to, is to more people, more things to do, things like that. Another struggle is that we have people under us, and we have people next door to us, and we have people around us, and we are literally the only people with kids in this area, and everyone is super nice, but my daughter is a very loud toddler at times. She will wake up early in the morning crying, or she'll be whining, or she'll be screaming or laughing or stomping around or pulling her little toy turtle around our house. We have apologized to our neighbors before, but no one has actually complained or been rude or anything. They've been really nice, but we just feel bad. We feel bad when it's early on the weekend and our daughter is crying. We just don't feel like this is really a space we want to bring another baby into. And one reason is really just out of respect for our neighbors and wanting them to be comfortable in their homes too. One other thing is that the stairs leading up to our place really make me nervous. It's like a bit of a stress every time we leave the house, because especially being pregnant, my back hurts and I have to carry my toddler down the stairs. But the stairs are very narrow. It's just not a good stair situation. It would not be a good fall. And it's always easier for me to carry her than to protect her, make sure she's okay as she is backing down the stairs. So carrying her up and down, and then carrying groceries, and then also our car isn't parked close to our door. So when I get groceries, you guys, I'm like become Superwoman, and I have to ergo my daughter pregnant and carry up all of the groceries, or at least all the cold stuff, all the way from our car up our stairs, and it's literally my workout for the day. So while it has been manageable now, especially now that my daughter is older and she's good at walking and things like that, it still is a stress, and I can't imagine doing it with a newborn and my toddler. I couldn't have imagined. It just sounded so overwhelming. It just was one of those less ideal things. And I don't want to be trapped in our house, afraid to go down the stairs all the time. So that was one of our concerns. Another bit of a challenge is that we share laundry in our apartment area and their quarters. So it has been fine now, but again, it's just one of those things. If I'm going to go do the laundry, I have to make sure I have quarters and make sure my daughter, I'm either carrying her in the ergo and have literally a basket on my head. It's just physically demanding to do laundry with my baby. I literally just wouldn't be able to do laundry unless my husband was home with a newborn and a toddler, going down the stairs, going to the laundry, and then you have to be considerate of switching it over and getting things in on time and having quarters on hand and all those things. Oh, the other thing too is I haven't talked about this on my channel, but I was such a big cloth diaper before we moved, because for the first year of my daughter's life, we did have our own washer and dryer, and I used cloth, and I have a whole stash of cloth diapers. I tried doing cloth here. It was just too hard, and the washers, for whatever reason, I couldn't figure out our wash routine, and I didn't feel like they were getting clean, and then doing that in other people's wash and dry, I just didn't feel the best about that. So we've been using disposables, which just makes me sad when I have all these cute diapers that we bought, and I just really enjoy doing cloth. So that was another reason we wanted our own washer and dryer, was the convenience of it, being able to do cloth. With 2 babies, I'm sure I'm going to be doing laundry twice as often. So those are just a few of the reasons why we had wanted to move. And beyond that, those are kind of my practical reasons. My husband Alex really felt like God had a place for us in Santa Barbara and he was going to move us. I didn't have that clarity so much in my heart or that vision so much of why we were going to move, because there are a lot of things that I love about living here. But basically, guys, that is the backstory. The housing situation here where we are at, specifically in Southern California, is absolutely insane. I cannot even tell you. I have friends whose rent is going up $400 right now, and things are so outrageously priced and there is so little available. I cannot tell you how depressing it is to go on Craigslist or to go on Trulia or Zillow or any website like that and try and find a place. There are the same apartment complexes coming up that are in not the best areas for literally the same that we're paying here, which is a nice 2-bedroom and a nice location. So it has been one of those things where it was like we knew God had to do something. What a 2-bedroom goes for here, most people in most places could probably have a beautiful updated 4-bedroom house somewhere in a nice area. We have known lots of people who've moved out of the area because of that, but we really feel like God wants us to be here. So that is why we have chosen to stay here. And all of our friends and family are here and community is here, and I grew up in this area. It's just where we want to be. So we've known we wanted to move for at least 4 or 5 months now. So I have been going on Craigslist and I'll text places to my husband, but none of them are like, I mean, I'll text them to him, but I won't bring them up to him because they're really not that great, but just to kind of be like, here, this is what there is right now, you know, this is the closest to something that meets our needs, you know. We had seen a few that we like, which brings me to kind of the beginning of the story of what God did. This happened a few months ago, and we found this really cute place on Craigslist. It was more than we wanted to spend. It was really more than I felt comfortable spending, and it was really nice. It was a 2-bedroom. It was its own little house, and it had a washer and dryer. It had a front yard, and what else did it have? It had a lot of charm. It was like an older, maybe from the 1920s or 1930s, but it also had some quirks. It had like literally no storage and things like that. But if you're looking in this area, you just have to compromise. You just have to be flexible with what you're getting. But with that place, just the price was too much and the timing was off, but it got me excited because it really was so much of what we did want. So that day after we drove and looked at that place, we were walking around with my daughter and we went to a park, and then across the street I was literally just walking with my daughter, and there was this woman walking her dog, and her dog was really cute, and I started talking to her, and my daughter loves dogs, so my daughter was all excited to see the dog, and we were just making small talk, and she was telling me how she moved into this place across the street and how her dad or her stepdad owns these places and then some other places in the area. And she was saying how cute it was and how it was a little 2-bedroom and all these things about it. But she was moving into it. But she was really nice and said that she would be happy to see if her dad had other places available for us and help us in any way that she could. And of course I was thinking, this is awesome. How crazy is it that I ran into this woman whose dad owns these places, because you really need to have those sorts of connections to find a place in this area. I got her number and I texted her and I thanked her and told her I'd probably be following up with her. But then that went by and I didn't talk to her for months because we really didn't feel ready to move. Another thing is most people would want to move probably sooner than this point. Again, I'm 30 weeks pregnant. Most people would have wanted to move by then. But you guys, right now, it's so nice where we live and we're right by the beach and it's literally just the dream place to live for summer. They're just so much fun. So I have wanted to enjoy the summer here because being where we're at throughout the winter, it's just not as fun as right now. And it would have made me so sad if we moved here before summer started and we didn't get to enjoy the beach and all the things that are so easy to enjoy where we live. So that was a desire in my heart too, is that I was like, God, I want to be here for summer, but I also want to move before baby. We did not want to move after babies. So the last few weeks and months, we have just been waiting. So my husband really hears things really clearly from the Lord about specific things. I don't hear things so much like that, but I will have clear intuitions about what to do from him. This whole time, my husband was saying, I really feel like this is going to come out of the blue. It's going to be one of those things that God is going to do. It's going to be a suddenly kind of thing. So, I mean, I don't mind hearing that, but at the same time, it's kind of like, really, it feels so out of control to hear something like that and be like, you mean I can't make this happen? I can't force the pieces to fit, because it's nice to feel in control, you know? But God isn't like that, you know? God likes it when we wait on Him for good things, and like a spouse, things like that, things that you just can't force or make happen. So I trusted my husband's intuition about that. And I trusted that God would, but at the same time, I didn't fully, and I still kept looking. You know, I feel like if I fully trusted that, I would stop looking. But I was saying, you know, God can do anything. I'm gonna still look, and we'll see. Maybe if this is right, He'll open those doors and whatever, which is true too. So I forgot to mention too that when we looked at that house where I met that woman, that street right there, we, for whatever reason, we just fell in love with that street. Everything about it was just perfect to us in terms of the location and where things were and how it felt having a family there, things like that. Everything just felt so right, and that was literally our dream street to live on. And this whole region is a really nice region, and there are a lot of nice places to live, but I know the things that are important to me, and that had them all. So if we could have picked anywhere, again, there's like literally nothing available online in this area at all. Nothing at all that suited things that we're looking for. So what we wanted really was just not out there whatsoever. But fast forward, my super sweet friend who is like really close to her due date, she really wanted to do kind of maternity family photos for me. So we kind of pulled that together last minute, and we made a plan to go do that last Saturday. You guys, I'm filming this on a Sunday. This was literally a week ago. So much has happened in a week. So we go pick her up from her house, and we're gonna go to a local park to take pictures. We get her in the car. It's my daughter, my husband, and myself, and we turn around the block, and we just so happen to be driving right on that street that we looked at the place on, and get this, there's a for rent sign in that exact building that woman had moved into. So my eye immediately went over to that. And what's funny too is that morning driving over there, I just had this feeling from the Holy Spirit to call that woman whose number I had that day, which was just random because it could have been any day, right? But I kind of brushed that aside because we're going to take pictures. So anyways, we see that place, there was a for rent sign in front of it. So I immediately react and I'm like, Alex, you have to go look at that place. Go look, go see, go get the number, whatever. So we pull over to the side, and then he goes over to the house, and I see him talking to someone. He goes in, and I was kind of catching up my friend on the whole story of everything. And then 5 minutes later, he is waving for me to come in. So I go in there. There's kind of a painter in there. It's all empty. No one's living in there anymore. There's tarps down because they're painting. But there was a woman in there who was the sister of the woman who lived in there, who was the one I met. So it was her dad as well who owned the places. So she had some authority in renting out the place. We started talking to her, and it was crazy. When we walked in there, for some reason I thought it was a 1-bedroom, but it was a 2-bedroom. So that surprised me because for whatever reason I thought it was going to be a 1-bedroom and a little bit too small for us. But it was a 2-bedroom, and I just instantly knew. I mean, because I knew how little was out there and how little on the market was even close to meeting our needs, before even looking at all the normal things one would look at to decide if they wanted a place, just, I knew it was out there, and I knew this was better than everything else that was out there. And I was like, I want this. And she told us the rent, it was literally $100 more than what we're paying now, which we were comfortable in spending. And that in itself was crazy because this could have gone for like $500 more than that. And it is so cute, you guys. It's so quaint. It's an older little place, and it's small. It's smaller than our place now, but it's a 2-bedroom, 1 bath. Didn't have any shared walls with anyone, and it just felt so right. And how crazy was it that I just randomly met the woman who lived in there, who just moved out, who was her sister, months ago, and got her number and never talked to her again. I just thought that was so crazy. So she was like, well, here, she had the last application, and the best part of all is that when she met us, she instantly wanted us to live there. She was just instantly drawn towards us. She could see how happy we were, and she herself has kids, which is awesome, and she wanted people in there who would understand kids and understand kids being loud and kids, I don't know, just all the stuff that goes with that. She didn't want someone in there who was quiet because she kind of lived in the area and who would be complaining and things like that. So again, that was exactly what we wanted. And in this market, it is so uncommon to find someone who actually wants someone to have kids. I mean, she wasn't the landlord herself, but she had a good say in who would be in there because she was the daughter of the landlord. So just to feel that she wanted us in there was crazy. So we got the application, I got her number, and we just knew we were gonna follow up with that really quick because that is absolutely what you have to do. In this market, you just have to have your A game on if you want to get a place. So we went and took all the pictures. If you're on my Instagram, you can see them. They turned out so cute. And I was just so excited just at the prospect of this, and also knowing that it wasn't online, because all the places that are listed online, there's so much interest. There's so many sharks swarming around who just want the place, and it's so competitive. So we take the photos. Immediately Alex calls the landlord just to make that first connection, and he was just a nice older guy, and it went fine, but of course we still had to apply and all that sort of stuff. That night we went home. We were super diligent. We filled out the whole application. I got the tip from a friend to include a family photo just so they can know who you guys are. So we included a family photo, and then we printed out our credit scores, and we gave him money to check our credit too, but we can get like the free credit report kind of thing. And I wrote a letter. I told him about us. I told him our situation. I told him about our income. I told him that we don't smoke or have pets or do drugs, whatever. I told him everything, and I told him how much we would love to live there, and we turned in that application the next day. The next Sunday, we were ready for it. We put it in the mailbox. We called him, we called the daughter, we let them know. And that woman was so sweet. She said that immediately after she met us, she called her dad and let him know that she wanted us in that place, and that, yeah, she was gonna fight for us to be in that place. Which I'm telling you guys, this was a stranger. This was so crazy in such a competitive market for any of this to be happening. It was just so easy. Everything about this whole thing has been the easiest, most God-ordained thing ever. So our nerves are high, but there was just this sense that we are gonna get it, but we didn't want to let ourselves go there because, I don't know, it's risking your heart and it's kind of a big deal. I just couldn't let myself start to think about if this didn't happen, then we have to go find another place and go into all of that. We just were cautiously hopeful and trusting that God wanted to give us this place, and that's why all of this was happening. Another thing, behind our little house was laundry. Come to find out, I could cry just being a homemaker, that is our own washing machine, and I can cloth diaper our newborn. And I'm so happy, and I'm just so excited to have our own washer, you guys. So apparently there was one person in front of us, but I think the daughter kind of knocked her out of the picture because it was like a single, more quiet woman and she didn't want her to live there. And then the landlord had a friend who had been asking if he had any places for a really long time. So he told us that he had to call his friend and tell him that this place was available just to hold to his word. So this all happened, and then I think Monday morning, Alex got a call from the guy and he said that the place is ours if we want it, and he also said that was the best application he's ever received. I mean, yeah, we went above and beyond, but that's just really affirming to hear. He just loved having all that extra information in the picture and reading about us, so that made me really happy. And everything has just progressed so well, I can't even tell you. Okay, one other crazy thing, you guys. That morning, literally probably an hour after we get that call, we get an email from our current landlord saying, because we're on month to month right now, saying that they're raising the rent and that they want us to sign a year contract in the upcoming month. So you guys, literally, we do not email our landlord at all. We've been here for almost a year, so it kind of makes sense. But that morning, we get that email from our landlord. And what's crazy is that she was raising $100, so it would be the same price as that one. How crazy is that? That was just, all of this has been so confirming to our hearts and so encouraging. And not only that, but it was only on that day that we gave our 30 days. So we kind of knew that we'd be eating up some money during this month in the transition. And it's one of those things, if you're in a different market where it's not so competitive, you can possibly avoid that. But being that it's so competitive, you can't be picky about the move-in date or things like that because they could easily go for someone else. So initially he said that he wanted us to start paying at the beginning of August, which means that we'd be paying rent at both places for about half of that month until our 30 days expired here, which is unfortunate. But another thing too is that deposit was much lower than so many places are asking for. It was lower than rent, and that was a huge blessing. As the days progressed, my husband kind of continued to talk to him on the phone about different things, and get this, he said that we could start moving our stuff in the beginning of August and then move in halfway through August and start paying at that time. So essentially he would be losing that money for half of the month's rent, which is actually kind of a lot. It's like a lot of the baby items that we still need and things like that, if you look at it that way. So that was just a huge blessing too. And I could very well have my daughter at the beginning of September. So that means we'd have like 2 or 3 weeks there to settle in further after we move. So it's gonna be kind of crazy, but you guys, it just all worked out so perfectly. It's literally the perfect place for us. The timing, I couldn't have picked it better. Also, my daughter's birthday is at the end of August, and I want to have a little party there for my daughter for her second birthday. Another thing too is on our fridge we had listed some things that we were praying for and just some of the desires of our hearts that we were presenting before God. And I kid you not, it literally checked off all of the things on that list. And again, in some different area in the United States, in most different areas, it's not that hard to get the things that you want. I mean, yeah, there's give and take. It's just such an extreme here. But the things that I wanted, that it checked off. It was literally the exact location that we wanted. It has hardwood floors. It has its own washer and dryer. It has an outdoor space. And what was the other thing? I don't know. I can't remember. Oh my gosh, you guys, I totally forgot. My best, this is amazing, I cannot believe I forgot this. My best mom friend lives literally like 1 to 2 blocks away. She's literally someone I hang out with just about every week. Our daughters are 2 to 3 months apart in age, and she is due with her second literally a month apart from me. So we're both gonna have a little newborn at the same time, and I can literally walk to her house. Like, How crazy is that? And not only that, we have my husband, this is just, you couldn't plan this. My husband's best friend, like my husband's closest guy friend and his wife, she's my good friend too, but they live on the way to their house, like, so literally less than a block away. That's so crazy. I love walking places. If you know me, I just love walking. I don't like driving, especially with babies. I hate putting babies in car seats and hearing them scream. So God has gone above and beyond, and this has been just a crazy season with all the changes in the birth. Again, if you want to catch up on that, you can go watch that now. But all of that stress, we are so much closer to the hospital too that we're going to deliver this next one at. There's just been some craziness with my husband and work. And this past month or two has been a lot for me. I mean, there's been a lot of good things, but just my heart has been kind of heavy, wondering about the move and then the birth and then my husband's work. And there's just been so many things shifting and so many things not feeling totally steady or secure. So God just, I could cry right now, you guys. I can't think of a situation that has spoken to my heart in such a special way. I just feel so seen by God. I just see how much He cares about our desires, and I don't know, it's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day mom life, you know, and just life. Life is busy, you know, and there's not so much room to see God do these amazing things a lot of the time, I feel like, unless you're in those places of great need, right? But just the fact that not only, it wasn't that we just applied to a place online that met some of our needs and God opened the doors and all worked out. Literally, it's been above and beyond in so many ways. I didn't even tell you guys everything because I don't want to tell you guys everything about where we're living, but God put things together better than I literally could have ever imagined, and it's been so easy. I just can't believe how much God would take care of the little things. You know, it just has really touched my heart. I don't know what the future is going to look like, but I just know that God has for us to be here, and that's such a good feeling, you know, when there's, and I'm going to bring another baby into this world very, very soon. I'm just feeling so taken care of by God, so seen by God, so loved by God, and my husband and I are just so excited. We still are just like, we can't believe we got the place, you know, because this was literally a week ago. So anyways, I have already been packing. I do not intend on lifting anything, but I have been going through things and packing, and what's awesome too is that we have that first half of the month to start just taking stuff over because it's not that far away. Then we'll probably get a truck at the end to do some of our bigger items. Anyways, that is the crazy story. We're literally just about to move, and God, I don't know, it just, we can trust God, we can trust His timing, and I know it can be scary. I'm human, I'm there with you. Like, I know if you're waiting on something, it's so easy to want to force the pieces together and just want to make it work, but we could have found a place way long ago, but we just put it in His hands. You guys, I'm 8 months pregnant, and He just pulled this out of the blue just because we continued to wait on Him. It's not us, it's really God and His goodness. But so many times we can just intervene and not even give God the opportunity to provide for us, you know? I feel like it's always like He likes to lead us to those like last minute moments and places. But just keep waiting on Him. He's absolutely faithful, and He will not let you fall. So just keep holding out for what you want and keep trusting in Him and believing Him for the good things you want. And just know that He wants to fulfill the desires of your heart. He doesn't want to just basically barely take care of your needs. Like, He really loves you and wants to give you your heart's desires, especially when you submit them to Him and trust Him with that. He just loves that so much when we trust Him with that and not put it above God, but just give it to Him, you know? So I just hope that you can do that. I hope that I can continue to do that with other things, and just honestly praise God for Him delivering us and giving this great gift to us as a family, and we're so excited. So pray for us as we're moving. Anyways, that is why things have been crazy, and I'm gonna try and keep this thing going here on YouTube. I mean, we'll see what it looks like, you guys. Obviously, I have to live my life and take care of, we have to move and have to have a baby and all these things, but yeah, thank you for being with me on this journey, and I just hope that you can celebrate with us, and just know that I'm believing with you for the things that you are hoping for in your life. I totally know that God is going to pull through for you, so just keep holding on to your hope and don't be discouraged. Say hi to me down below. Let me know how your summer is going. Let me know if I do film what you'd like to see from me. I want to be making stuff that you guys want to watch, so let me know your suggestions, and thank you so much for being here for me and for all your love and support. And you're beautiful, and I hope that you have a beautiful day because you are absolutely worth it, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!